Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and we want to welcome you to the May edition of the AnCan Art Friends. It is always my pleasure to have you here. We love having you here, and we have a great, beautiful landscape. In fact, I would say it's an early
Woohoo!
vacation. Wouldn't you,
Yeah.
Hannah? It
Yeah.
is.
You know what? Yeah, we can call it an early vacation.
It's an early vacation.
Hmm.
I do want to make a very brief announcement, though, that next week I will be interviewing one of our very first art friends on Solo Arts Heal. So it'll actually be me. Normally it's Rick Davis, will be me. And it will be with Karen Broder. So we'll be doing, and we'll actually be talking a little bit about the program, but it's something you won't want to miss. It will be, the information will be in the follow-up email. But if you watch on the recording or if you're signed up, you're not going to want to miss this show. But I just want to put that little plug in. So Hannah, I'm handing off to you. What are we doing tonight? What do we need? All that good stuff.
Excellent. Thank you, Alexa. Okay, so once again, we are going to begin.
Oh,
Hi guys, it's so good to be back. I love doing these classes. And I have a classic watercolor painting for us, okay? It's a landscape, okay, like you said, Alexa. And I actually took this picture last time I was in Santa Monica, California. And so I just knew that it needed to be something art related. So I thought I would bring it to the table today. So I hope you guys enjoy it today. I'll go over the supplies that we need for our project today. Of course, we're going to want paper, of course. That doesn't mean you have to have the paper that I have, okay? I generally like to use mixed media, size 9 inches by 12 inches, but you don't have to have that size. I usually find that mixed media is, of course, good for all kinds of media, mixed kinds of media. If you have watercolor paper, feel free to use that. This is going to be beautiful on watercolor paper or something that is textured that's going to capture the essence of that watercolor. Feel free to use that. That's going to be gorgeous. But mixed media paper or any sort of like thicker paper, even if it's just cardstock, that's okay too. Okay, use what you have. I'm also going to bring out a pencil. So everybody's going to want a pencil today with an eraser. So I typically like to use like the erasers that I can hold, like the bigger ones. We'll also want either tape or a ruler, one or the other. I say that because we're going to want to make a straight line for this area here. And if you have painter's tape, so I'm talking specifically about the blue painter's tape or the green froggy tape, use some of those. I wouldn't chance it with like regular masking tape, like the white ones. I wouldn't chance it because sometimes they'll work, but sometimes they won't. Okay, so if it's blue or green, you're good. But what I am going to do because I have this tape is I'm going to tape it off so that I have this nice straight edge. If you don't have that tape, you can always use a ruler, and I can also show you how to measure your little spots and then make a straight line all the way across. I can show you how to do that. And for you, you won't have this area blocked over, but it's okay. Like we'll make it work. Okay. Of course, we're gonna need our watercolors. So this is my standard little set of watercolors here. As for brushes, though, don't feel like you need to have every single one of these things. I'll probably jump back and forth depending on how I feel with these brushes. We'll want some sort of flat brush first. So either the larger 3/4 inch brush. This is my standard brush. I use it all the time. Or a 1/2 inch flat brush, either or both. Okay. And then I also have my round brushes as well. So a thinner one right here. So maybe a 4, maybe a 2, something around there. And then a size 8. So for a bigger one, anything around that size is good. Okay. And I think that's it as far as brushes. Of course, you're going to want a napkin and water. Okay. So be sure to get those things as well. With that being said, I think we get started. Something that I always forget to do, and I always forget to mention, but I'm remembering it now. If you have any paint on your little is it the covers of your watercolor paints? Go ahead and clean that off now because we will be mixing some colors, okay? Just clean that off so that you have a nice clean space to work with, okay? I usually like to grab a napkin and then just kind of dip it in my water and then just wipe it all off. So I'll do that in a little bit. Now, before we begin, do I have any questions from you guys? Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. I don't think so. I could have though. Sometimes I do. Okay. If not, I think we can get started, okay? Let's do this. Let's move this. I actually made two different, I don't know, this is my practice picture. Ta-da! Very similar techniques though. Okay, just slightly different for both of them. So I'll put that aside right now. And this is my paper. Again, it's a mixed media, 9-inch by 12-inch. And very first thing, I want to create that horizon line. That's the first thing. So I'm going to need my pencil. Use your pencil if you're using a ruler, okay? If you have tape, then you have it pretty easy, honestly. You can still use a ruler to measure out equal distance between the edge and where you want to start. If you want to, it's not really a requirement though. If you have tape, which I do right here, I totally forgot. If you have tape, then you can eyeball it if you want to. So in the original picture, I think I have more of the ocean than I have of the sky, but it's up to you which one you want more of, okay? So all you have to do is eyeball it and tape it down, okay? That's for my tape people. And again, if you want more sky, then just kind of bring this piece of tape down. Give yourself more sky. Now I'm going to peel this off because I'm going to show my ruler people how to draw that line. So I'm going to take a wild guess that maybe it's about 4 inches from the top, maybe something like that. So I'll take my ruler and I will measure one side of it. And what do you know? I was right, 4 inches. So what I'm going to do is maybe around 4 inches, maybe 5 inches if you want more sky, and mark it. Mark it on that side. And then when you're done, do the exact same thing on the other side. Mark it on this side. Might be a little more tricky, but good thing I have a clear ruler. So also 4 inches. I do want to try to make sure it's straight. So right about there. Got my little marks. I know you guys probably can't see it. And then you'll take your ruler and you'll make a line all the way across. I wouldn't press down too hard, otherwise you will be able to see the line. I mean, that's okay if you don't mind. So there you go. There is my line. Now, when we paint the sky, all you have to do is just be a little bit more careful not to cross over the line. And same thing vice versa when we do the sea, okay? Just try to be careful not to cross over the line. But if you do, that's okay too, because that is the charming thing about watercolor, is that it just does that and it looks nice anyway. But for my tape people, I'm gonna put this back on. Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully I got the full line. We will see. Okay. Mostly I'm using the tape too because I need to just put it down onto the table so that it doesn't move too much. Now I am going to go ahead and grab my pencil and we are going to draw in a circle for the sun and then also draw in our mountains, okay? So I'll give you guys another few seconds just to create your line if you're still doing that. But if you want to skip ahead and draw your mountain now and your circle for the sun, you can do that too. It's small, it's very small, and because it's a sunset, it's pretty close to that horizon line, okay? Press down lightly whenever you do this part. If you have anything that you can trace, like maybe some sort of cap, like a marker cap, something, you're more than welcome to trace a circle. Otherwise, I have full confidence that you can draw it in, okay? Take your time, press down lightly. You can always erase it. I want you to be able to see that. So draw that circle. Now, as you can see, my circle is wobbly, and that's okay because I'm going to erase some of it, and at least some of my paint will be able to cover it. To be completely honest, though, I find pencil marks on watercolor paintings to be beautiful. I feel like they bring a charm to the painting. So personally, I love the look. But if you don't like the look, then you can erase it a little bit more so that it's very faint. Okay, that's my circle. As for the mountain, bring this up a bit more. Personally, I tend to draw mountains really big, even if they're far away. I just do. So just kind of be careful, kind of eyeball it, okay? This is actually, I don't actually think it's a mountain. I think maybe it's a hill, but a really big hill, of course. I'm not quite sure though. Feel free to start at the edge if you want to, and just kind of like taper it down very slowly. So maybe you can start over here. And again, it's not a tall mountain hill thing. You can always modify it if you want. Maybe I'll make this a bit more of a peak. There, like that. There we go. It's supposed to be hazy because I love that view on the Santa Monica beach. It's hazy. You can just barely make out the mountain sometimes. I think I've been to Santa Monica maybe 3 or 4 times, something like that. It's beautiful every single time. Now, what else do we have to draw? We have our shoreline. I brought out the other version just because I was able to draw them in a little bit more clearly. So the shoreline down here, as you can see, it really fades back here. See how there's not too much space over on this side, and that makes for a more exaggerated angle, a more exaggerated view of the ocean. Starts way over here, ends way over there. And as you can see, it's just about the same width as my my tape. So you can draw it now if you want to, and it'll just be below the tape here. So what I'm going to do is start with this one over here, and then I'll just start with this one, and then I think I have one right here actually. And then we'll keep moving towards the shore there. So I'm going to just put that there so you guys can see that. Okay. So I will start way over here, and it's a very gentle curve. Very gentle. There's not too many like flowy parts, just one little swoop or 2 little swoops. Very gentle curves. And again, I press down very lightly, okay? So I really hope you guys can see that. I think I am actually going to press down harder just so you guys can see it. Yeah. Because if I can't see it, then I'm sure somebody here can't see it. But again, you guys just press down lightly. So there's that. Now I can have this other one following along at first, but then it just kind of, it tapers off over here as well. There we go. And none of these lines should be totally accurate, okay? None of them should be exactly following one another. These three lines that you see right here are that one, and that one. That one, that one, that one. And as you can see, they're not exactly the same. They're never exactly the same. These two, I think, are my favorite. I love these guys right here. So this is a line, a curve that starts here. And then another one that just kind of crisscrosses that way. See how I crisscross that line? In the picture, you can tell that it's crisscrossed. In the photograph that I took, it is crisscrossed somehow in here. Whenever the paint went on top of it, the line got buried underneath the paint here, so you can't see the crisscross. But I didn't intentionally try to cover it up. Okay, all of these lines out here, we'll worry about those later. Those we will build later with the paint. Do I have questions, or do you guys want me to repeat anything? Anything at all? Okay. Please don't be afraid to interrupt me. Okay, I forgot to mention that earlier. Please don't be afraid to interrupt me because I do tend to go fast sometimes. Okay, so just tell me to slow down. If you have a question while I'm talking, that's okay too. Okay. I know sometimes these questions need to be answered right away. We will be starting on yellow first. In fact, we'll start around the sun and then just make our way out that way. So I am going to bring out my examples. Ta-da. See how it kind of like the orange here, it kind of curves out that way. I wasn't thinking at the time, but you don't have to have it completely curving like that. Okay, you can make it look a little bit more natural. And well, painterly, I should say. It's more painterly. And I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But we are going to be using regular yellow first. And I know not everybody has the same palette as me, but if you do this one, it has sorry, my words are missing. Where'd my words go? A lighter orange and a darker orange. So I will be using the lighter orange mostly, but a little bit of the darker orange too. So I don't think I mixed those colors. I didn't pre-mix those. Now let's go ahead and grab one of the flat brushes. I don't know which one you're comfortable using. I'm probably going to use the smaller of the two just because it's a tiny sun. But if you don't have a small sun, that's okay. You can use the bigger one too. Let's go ahead and wet the painting first. So we're basically going to be painting with water first. And I just want to throw this out there that these little splotches that you see, it's very much a trademark of watercolor. We get those by pre-painting with water first, okay? Because it just makes the area more slick. It just makes it more slick, and so the paint is not absorbed right away by the paper. It can slide over the paper because the water is already there. So just keep that in mind, okay? Anytime you see some harsh lines that maybe you don't like, then add more water. Water is going to be your friend here. So I just wanted to throw that out as a general rule of thumb for watercolor, not just for this one. So I'll take my brush and I'm going to get some water and let's take it straight to our sun and go around it. Now, I don't want you to be totally careful with staying inside the lines because, again, with the beauty of watercolors is to see that irregularity, to see that variation. So I was definitely not perfect with it. And I'm going to keep going out. I'm going to grab more water. I'm going to keep on moving out. And honestly, I'll probably switch over to my big brush just because I want more water. Hopefully this one's clean enough. I think I cleaned it. See that? I'm going around my sun. And let's even take this water up here to the corner. Let's slide it down here. We're basically just practicing our brush strokes. I'm having my water go horizontally this way over to the other side. We're just practicing brush strokes. We're not really doing too much. Now it's not super wet. Like it's not, these are not big puddles that I'm putting on here. I'm definitely smoothing it out. Because of course we want this eventually to dry. Eventually. And we don't want to tear our paper either. Now, once you're done putting water just on the sky area, grab more of that water and let's jump into yellow first. I'm gonna grab some of that yellow and I'll just be conservative right now and I'll just get a little bit of yellow. You can always add more. And let's go around our sun. That is lovely. I'm happy with that. Now, these are hard lines right here, okay? So if you like those harder lines, if you want it to gradually fade out, then keep those harder lines. But if you don't, I want you to tap. You guys see this tapping motion that I'm doing? It's becoming more splotchy because of that tapping motion. Oh, I mean, of course I do want to move outward too, a little bit more. You can always go back and add or grab some more of your yellow and then either tap or swipe around it some more to make the color more rich. It's more yellow. I have a nice arc around my sun. Now, the majority of this is going to be covered by my my lighter orange, but it's nice to have that cushion. It's a cushion of yellow there, so to speak. Can't wait to see what everyone comes up with. Ooh, and if you decide to use different colors for your sky, I especially want to see them. I mean, I want to see everybody's, but you don't have to use a blue sky if you don't want to. Like you can add some other colors to it and, you know, just go off on your own tangent if you want to. Now, I am gonna go ahead and jump into my light yellow and I'll just kind of rinse off my brush. I don't need to rinse it off thoroughly. I want to grab some of that. Have a nice little puddle right in the middle of my paint cake here. That's what they call it. They call it cake. Now, here's the original. As you can see, it does move up here and then it kind of swipes out to the side here. Doesn't quite go all the way up here though. There's some blue there. So I'll start right on top of my my yellow. Again, I'll just kind of swipe it around, but for the most part, I do want to kind of get rid of some of those lines. If you see stuff like this, see that where it's you're trying to get rid of the lines, but you're only making more lines, then pause for a second and rinse your brush. And then let's add a little bit more taps or swipes right on top of the area you want to correct. I'm lightly going over it just with water. Lightly with water. And honestly, while I have my water, I may as well just add some more water here. It's, again, that water is your friend if you can use it a little bit more conservatively, or just be careful with it. It will be your friend when it comes to blending. So all I did right there was tap that little bit of water and it's nice and blended. So I can carry on my orange I feel like I have enough right up here, as in like it's spread out far enough, but personally, I want it to be a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna tap some more. It's very wet, so because it's very wet, it's gonna spread like that. See how I'm just tapping it with the corner of my brush? I'm not gonna get too close to the sun just because it's bright. It's really bright, so I wanna just kind of go on the outskirts of the sun. At any time, you can just kind of make your way. See how I'm smoothing it out into this area here. And if you happen to go inside of the mountain, that's okay too, because we're going to add some orange to that as well. So that's okay. I'm going to grab a little bit more. I grabbed some water, but I'm also going to grab the same kind of orange, okay? Just because for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like this area is kind of dry. See how you can go back and forth and you see those edges right there? I can smooth that out by going into my water. I know I'm working kind of fast, but it's just because I don't want it to dry too much. So I'm just dipping in here and grabbing some water so that I can smooth it out. And I'm not going to go all the way up there just because there's supposed to be blue that goes up there. But if you do go all the way up, that's okay too. But I'll just leave some space. So I see some hard lines over here. So I'm going to just grab that water and smooth that out as well. Smooth that out. Now I have some nice lines over here. Now I would love to have some more of these water splotches here. That's just me. I really love these water splotches. So I'm taking the corner of my brush and I'm just tapping right there. If they are not spreading or blending enough, then go back in and again, grab a little more water and tap with just the water. That way you can blend in some of those splotchy marks. And I'm getting it in my mountain unintentionally. It's okay. I'm gonna blend that in just a bit. I hope that wasn't too fast. Please let me know if you want me to repeat anything or if you need clarification on anything.
What happens if your son got overtaken by the color? Do you just paint it white?
Oh, the sun got, are you using watercolors?
Yes.
Okay. If it got overtaken, then take a napkin and
Okay.
see if you can blot some of it. So kind of wrap it around your finger and see if you
Okay.
can blot some of it off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Be careful not to swipe it though, because we don't want to mess up the paper. Yeah, hopefully that works. Although if it does overtake, I'm pretty sure I have pictures where the sun has become bright orange. So it still works out. It's still correct. Now, before it gets too dry, over here, let me show you the original again. So as you can see, I put a little tiny bit of the dark orange, okay? But a little bit more in this one right here. So a bit of that dark orange here, bit of that dark orange in here, just a tiny bit. So again, before it gets too dry, I want to go ahead and do that. So if you don't have dark orange, then a tiny little bit of red will do the trick. I've got my dark orange here. And because it's such a small amount, I'm just gonna use my corner again, tap it. Right down there, tap it right down here. And honestly, I want to add it down here. So I'm gonna do that. There we go. I feel like I need to fix that a little bit. So I'm gonna take my water. Oops. There we go. Love that orange. Okay. Before I go crazy with that orange, I'm gonna leave it alone. This part right here, I'm gonna tap some of that away. Now here's something I should mention. I cleaned and dried my brush before I did that part and this part right here. That tends to take the color away. So that's maybe, Jeanette, maybe that's something you can also try too. That tends to soak up the color back into the brush. So just beware if you do that. Always reapply it though. Might be a little bit more difficult, but you can do it. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and reapply some water up here. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. Actually, I take that back. I actually want to mix some of that color first. So while you guys are finishing up, I'm going to clean this little area of mine so that I can show you how to make that color. This is actually the same color that we're going to use in our ocean as well. So we have the ocean color in the sky. Same color. And I'm pretty sure, I know for this version, I used the lighter, brighter of the two blues. I used this one. I think I used, for this one right here, I used the darker of the two. And it's not like a very obvious difference in color. It's not, because no matter what, we're going to mix brown with it. Now for my mixing, I'm going to use one of my smaller round brushes, and that's going to be my mixing brush. So I'll go ahead and put some water in my blue, and then put some water in my brown too. So here's my brown. There it goes. Okay, let's pick up some of this blue. And I'm going to start sifting this color onto my mixing spot. Just keep on going, keep on lifting it, tapping it onto that spot. And if you need to grab more water, grab more water. There we go. I'm gonna drag some from my cup to here. If you have an eyedropper, then that's way better. It's way more efficient. I have an eyedropper somewhere, but it's lost. So there we go. I think that's a good amount to start with for now. So now I can go ahead and rinse my brush and then pick up a little bit of brown. A little goes a long way, okay? So we're gonna mix that in with all the blue that you've got. And that, I think, looks lovely. I feel like I might have to add, because it's the sky, I might have to add a little bit more blue. But you guys adjust it as needed, okay? If you feel like it needs to be a tiny bit more blue, add more blue. See that sifting again, and you'll probably contaminate one of your paint cakes, but that's okay. Now that's lovely. I have a lovely blue that has been desaturated a little bit with the brown. Once again, do I have questions? Okay. It's exciting. Now I'm going to, now that I have my lovely color right here, I'm going to take my brush again and let's reapply some water up here just to the corner, but then also up to here at the top. Take that water, I'm going to re-wet it. Oops. Oh man, I almost dropped my cup right on my paper. You ever had that happen before? Painting or doing something and just poof, something falls right on top of it. I don't know if you remember, Alexa, but the very, very first art class that we did for AnCan, okay, maybe not the first one. It was the first official one with like a big class.
Uh-huh.
We were doing the markers, like we were using like the Crayola markers and doing like a marker drawing of Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers.
Yes, yes.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I spilled my tea right on top of it, like right in the beginning. And clearly it scarred me for life because I thought the picture was gonna have a lot of complications. Thankfully it didn't. Got very lucky, but I remember it very vividly.
I mean, people paint with tea, so it
True,
added to its
yeah,
character.
true. One of my college lessons, I guess, was to paint with soy sauce. So that was interesting. I don't think I'll ever do it again. Okay, so I'm gonna take my new blue and I did grab some water, by the way, grab some water right before I went to my little pile. And let's start to add it right at the top here. See, it's starting to spread. There's that beautiful splotchiness. I'm gonna drag it over here and bend it over this curve here. Now I am going over this area. As you can see, you can definitely see where it's mixing up with the oranges there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my water. So I've rinsed my brush here, take my water, and again, go over those spots with just the water, smooth it out. And now we've gotten rid of some of those brush strokes. And you may have to keep doing that a couple of times as you keep adding more of the paint on top, okay? Because we want to make it much darker over here. So while it's still wet, I'm still gonna go over here. I'm gonna tap some of that color into there. Definitely tap some color in the corner here. Definitely want to use the corner of my brush to tap a little bit. Yep. And again, I'm definitely going to have to go over this again with just my water. So rinse my brush, tap a little bit of the water off, and then go right on top with the water, being as delicate as possible. Tap, tap, tap some more color onto it. And if you're like me, you may need to make some more color. And that's okay too. You make that color. I'm going to tap some of this in the corner here because I love that splotchiness. Something that might make the tapping of color on this portion a little bit easier is to use your round brush. So if that splotchiness is really what you want, then try switching over to that round brush and see if we can do the same thing again. Now for me, I need to make more color. So I'm going to do that real quick. There we go. And now I can tap. See that? The round brush is making it way easier to add that splotchiness. And I'm still going to have to go over it with my flat brush, but it's way better now. I got a hair. There we go. Goodbye, hair. Now I can still see plenty of brush strokes that need to be smoothed out. So again, I'm going to go back to my water. I'm still going to use the round brush, and I'll tap with the round brush. Put that water in there. And again, I'm still trying to be as delicate as possible. Don't want to mess the paper up too much. You can already see it kind of beading up or purling up here at the top. So I'm going to leave that alone. I think I'm good. I don't want to mess with it too much anymore. So I'll give you guys another minute or so to finish that up. We'll move on to the mountain after this. Now, has anybody done anything fun or interesting or artistic or creative in the last week or in the last month since we've been in class last time?
He loved it. It was bloody.
Oh, really?
I don't
What?
have
She
it, but
was describing a painting she did.
Oh,
Was I unmuted? Sorry.
that's funny.
My bad. I've been folding paper stars, like little tiny paper stars.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, I have to have done like
About 100.
a few thousand at this point. I have a huge star I'm trying to fill,
Thousand.
like 3 feet tall, like this wide.
That's so cool.
And it's like every star, it's kind of like a wish for yourself, you know? That's how I feel
Oh,
about it. So I
oh,
like to do that
that's
when I watch TV.
that's so cute. I love that idea. I remember trying to practice making those little stars, and I got okay with them. But then like after maybe like 10 of them, I started to, I don't know, they started to fall apart. But I love that. I love that you did so many. Laurel, that is gorgeous. My goodness.
Well,
How
so it's going to be a quilted wall hanging, but
Mm.
I'm like
Oh,
trying to figure out where I want to put everything. But
oh,
this is my friend. It's for her 50th birthday.
wow. There's
She's
so much detail.
I haven't seen Laurel in about a month. It's great.
That was beautiful, Laurel. How long is that quilting gonna take you? I'm
Well,
afraid
the
to ask.
quilting part won't take long, but
Okay.
Should cut everything out.
those are all, it's called raw edge applique, where there's like a bond on the back, so then you heat it and then it's going to adhere to the quilt. So
Oh, okay.
there's not a lot of sewing, actually. It's really more cutting
Cut,
and
intricate
pressing.
cut.
Yeah.
I
I've
think
been
I need that.
So
Crazier.
yeah. Okay.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Laurel. Okay, guys, let's work on the mountain, and then I'll come back to that question. Okay, let's work on the mountain. So let me bring back the original. So as you can see, there's a little bit of orange in there, but we're going to start off with purple mixed with brown. Okay, that's going to be our sky. Purple mixed with brown, and then we'll add a little streak or taps of purple. I'm sorry, of orange. Now, I don't remember which of the purples I used. Let me see. This one. No, I'm sorry. It was this one. It was this one. So we're going to use the round brush right here. This is the lighter of the purples. I don't know what it is about this particular watercolor set, but they give us a light purple and then two very similar dark purples, okay? We're going to use the light one here. So I'm going to get my water. And ideally, I would have a space that was clean right here, but I'm going to use this spot. Sift that purple right onto this little area. And then I will add a little bit of brown, just enough to make it more earthy. That's what we're going for. We're just going for an earthy purple. So if you want to add more brown than I have, then go for it. That was a lot of brown. I didn't intend to add that much. Now I need to balance it out with more purple, okay? So be careful if you're like me and you add too much brown. So I'm going to take some more, tap that. There we go. Now it's looking a little bit better. Okay. So we don't have to pre-wet this area. It's not quite as precise as the sky. We can go over it and it's gonna just become wet anyway, just as we're painting. Look at that. That's a nice earthy tone. I'm gonna paint all the way to the edge here. And I hope it doesn't bleed. There we go. I actually love the way it looks up here where some of the orange, it bled into the mountain. I love the way that looks. Okay. So now that I've got a lot of that purple here, it's a very deep purple. It's very, very dark, and that's what I want. Now on this end, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my brush. And I believe I took the light orange. So light orange here, and all I'm gonna do is you can either tap it in there or you can swipe it in there. A little goes a long way. I think I added a little bit more than I needed to. So if that's you, you can always rinse your brush and reapply maybe some of that purple. Yeah, reapply that purple. Because it's wet, it's able to blend in pretty well. Now I'm playing with the brush strokes here. But I can also spread that orange in here. I think I'm good. Now on the opposite end, I have a little bit of purple just peeking out in the corner over here. It's just to make it darker. It's just to, just for more contrast on this side. So choose one of your dark purples, any one of them. A little bit goes a long way. And just kind of tap and let the water flow from this corner. Now I'm gonna have to tap some water on top of it to blend it in. So using that same technique to have it spread, tap that water. And there we go. There we have it. I've got my sky. We've done half of this painting already. Now the other part, the ocean, I don't know, I feel like it goes a little bit faster, a little bit. I'm not going to remove the tape just yet, okay? I want to give it a moment to dry, especially on this side. Even when you're using painter's tape, so this tape is designed specifically for paint, you still have to be a little bit careful when you're peeling it off, okay? So even now, even with all the practice that I've had peeling the tape off, it still can be a little tricky sometimes. When you're taking it off, you'll want to peel it and keep it at a 90-degree angle, okay? And I'll show you that in a second. I still want this to dry. In fact, I'm going to get something to just kind of fan it off. So if you have anything to fan it a little bit, it is ideal to remove the paint while it's still a little bit wet. Not very wet, not very dry, somewhere in between. Not very wet, not very dry, in between. So honestly, I don't think that really took very long. It's already more dry than I expected. It's not too bad. Okay. I can see it's pretty wet, like right at the edge there, but hopefully it'll be okay. Should be okay. So I'll start on this side. When I peel it, I'll peel at an angle. See how there's a 90-degree angle right here? 90-degree angle, sustaining that angle. Let's go, let's go. There we have it. You can keep it. You can keep this tape and reuse it a couple times if you don't want to waste it. I have to be careful with it because my cat Callie likes to chew on tape for some reason. I don't know why. I think she likes the crunch, actually. Okay. So whenever we go over this, we're gonna go over maybe like 90% of this with a light coating of blue. Okay. So it's that same blue that we created, but watered down quite a bit. The thing about watercolors is that you typically want to start off very, very light. So more water ratio, higher water ratio. And then gradually get a little bit darker. Gradually add your darker colors much later. This area right in the middle will probably be the only tricky part right here. Because we'll want to create an area that's very choppy, but white. Like it's not going to have any color until later. So we can actually start that now. Which brush you use just depends on you. Depends on how you hold the brush. Sometimes I find, it just depends on how I'm doing that day, but sometimes I find that using, oops, I dropped it, brush I'm using. Using a flat brush to create these lines, and I'll show you in a little bit, but use the flat edge of your flat brush to create lines. Sometimes that's a little bit helpful. Other days, a round brush is a little bit easier to create those thinner lines. It just depends on you. So I'll start off with a flat brush, just so you can see it. I'm gonna grab some water and then grab the blue color that I created. And again, I still want it to be pretty light, so I'm gonna go over here and grab even more water. I'm gonna dilute this. There we go. This is pretty diluted. That looks pretty good. Now I want you to see if, hopefully you can see this, but this white area is really thin up here closest to the sun. And then it gradually gets a little bit thicker. It's almost like a triangle. It's just a very, very blurry triangle. But it tapers closer to the sun. It's very, the white area is very wide up here closer and tapers down as it gets to the sun. So we know it's supposed to be pretty thin by the sun. So I'm going to use my brush and just kind of move back and forth, being very careful. It's going to look very, very choppy. And it might be helpful just to watch me for a few minutes first. See how it's very thin here, and I'm trying to just make it become a little bit wider the further down I go. But I still want that choppy look. And if you happen to go over, that's okay too, because we're going to do more of that, okay? But for now, let's try to make it a little bit more wide over here. See how it gets a little bit thicker over here. And eventually, once you get close to the shore, it doesn't really matter. Like you can close it off. But I use the thinner edge of my flat brush. For some people, it's a little bit easier to do that with one of your round brushes. So maybe like this. For me, it's not easier, at least not right now. But you can do the exact same thing using the one of the round brushes. And if you happen to get, lots of lines that really jut inside, that's okay, because we're going to make more of that. We're going to exaggerate that. Okay, but at least for now, start off with the larger general shape. In fact, I'm even going to close that off right there. Looks a little funny right now, but we'll get to the rest of it. Now, in the original, bring it back over here. You know how I said it was okay to crisscross with these lines? Well, I have a lot of that. In fact, the way you create the look of having really bright light is to have those contrasts where it's very, very light, even white, contrasted with very, very dark. That's how you get that look, that look that there's a bright light. So we are going to take some more of our paint, and I'll use the same brush. So use the same brush you've been using, and just pick a few spots that are spaced far apart to go all the way across. Even just over here, if you have to use just the corner to get that, then do that. And then pick a few that just kind of jut out but don't really go all the way. And again, they're still spaced out quite a bit. So I can still see that general shape, that general triangular shape. And I'll just paint a bunch down here. Now at any time, you can start to paint some more of these lighter brush strokes all the way to the edge over here. See this? See how I'm going back and forth just on the edge here? Kind of zigzagging back and forth. I want to get all this area at the edge. Grab more. And again, it's still very light. I still have lots of that water mixed in with my blue. And even down here, you can go all the way across down here just to close it up. Now we'll want to do the same thing to this side, right over here. Now I need to rehydrate my paint right here. So I've added more water, so it's still pretty light. Still very transparent. Now let me take that. And again, we'll do the same thing on this side. We will move over to the rest of the ocean in a little bit. But for now, we just want to carefully add these swipes. Close up the gaps on the right side. Need to grab more paint. There we go. And then when you're finished doing all of that, on the right side and the left side, you can actually start to use the flat side of your brush to just cover the rest of that. Cover the rest of this area. And it's okay if you lose some of those lines. We'll put them back in. And I'm even going to go over top this entire area, even our shoreline. And again, it's a very light amount of paint. Using that flat side of the brush, I'm going all the way across. If you need to make a little bit more paint, then feel free to do so. Going back and forth over everything. I definitely need to make more paint in a moment. This layer that we're doing right now, this initial layer, this is going to act as our lightest portions. We're going to trick our eye into believing that there's lots of ripples on the water, and this area, this is the lightest portions. I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. Now it's up to you if you want to keep using the flat brush or if you want to switch over to one of your round brushes. Because again, it just depends on comfort level. We're going to be progressively adding darker blues, but lines, darker blue lines all across the ocean portion. So if you need to make some more, go ahead and make some more now. I'm going to use my mixing brush just to mix more color. While I'm mixing, I want to get back to that question of whether or not anybody's done anything fun or interesting or creative in the last month since last class.
I don't know if I could explain it. I didn't take the picture, but what I did for my daughter-in-law, I took a picture of her and her son in the water, but they were in a pool, so I only took the outline of them two, and then on the paper here, I painted ocean, and then put the picture of them on top of it, so it looked like they were swimming in the ocean.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
I have to. She really loved it, and I said, "Well, it's from my class."
Do you have a picture of it? Can we see it?
I will ask her if she took a picture. She was so excited. I'm going to ask her to send it to me.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Okay.
I love how you're all like, you always find different ways to do art. Like you'll do mixed media, anything you can think of, you'll do it. I love that. Okay, guys. Now, once you are finished mixing some more, I'm going to just find a little area where I can dilute some of this water because I'm looking for just slightly darker watercolor. So just right here, I'm adding a little bit more water to this little pile, and maybe I'll just dip into this when I need it. So I could start to go back and forth, pick a spot, any spot, and start to make some lines that are spread unevenly apart. And you'll notice that as you move along, some of your brush strokes might become a little bit lighter just as you keep doing it. But we do want some of our brush strokes to be longer, some of them shorter, not always spread apart evenly, because that's just the nature of ripples on the water. Now you can see me using my my round brush, but I think I'm going to switch back to my my thin brush because, or I'm sorry, my flat brush, just because I like the feel of that. For me, I feel like it's a little bit easier to get the lines that I want that way. So let's see. Now I'm not quite going to touch the lines over here, but I'll get pretty close to them. Let's see, I need to add some water, add some color to the water. I might actually switch to the smaller flat brush. It's actually, I think I'm liking that one more. Now, it does tend to be darker further away. So up here. So a very large portion of my dark brush strokes are going to be up here, closer to the mountain. Because again, it does tend to be darker the further out you go. And these lines are just naturally blending together just because of how much water I have on my brush. So I'm just going to let that happen. Some of my brush strokes are thinner than others. Some of them are longer, shorter than others. You can even use the corner of your flat brush just to make some tiny brush strokes. And I'm even going to go into this area here and create some of those darker lines. See how I'm moving along the left side, as well as adding some more of the lines that crisscross my light area. I think everybody's just in concentration mode right now. It's just something so relaxing about paying attention to a scenery, a landscape, giving it all your attention and letting it come to life. Now, if you want to, you can even throw in some of the other blue, so the darker blue that you have on your set. I didn't do that with the other examples, but I just if you want to, you can. It'll help to create much deeper areas if that's what you wanted to do. Now, all of this looks like the ocean that I was going for. Some of those brush strokes are darker than others, and all I had to do was just keep on swiping multiple times. And I think I will make some of these areas a little bit darker. I'll show you how you can do that without resorting to putting any other color in it. We're just going to add a little bit more of the brown. So more brown means it's a little bit more dark, a little bit darker. You see that? All I did was add more brown. I can pick some spots. I'll start back here first, just because it's already supposed to be really dark back here anyway. Then we can add a few random brush strokes out in the open that represent really dark areas or just dark ripples. It'll really bring that color out. And again, all I did was add a little bit of extra brown. I'm saying a lot today. Driving me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna take more of that. And I decided to switch over to my small flat brush. Hopefully it helps me to get some flatter lines. Oh yeah, definitely helping. Now I do want you guys to go over this area with some darker colors, some darker blue. So I'm going to take more of my brown, and I think I need to balance it out with more blue. So it's a deeper color. Go all the way across with some of these brush strokes. Help to make it more dramatic using that really dark color. That dark color is really going to bring that drama. You didn't take a lot either. You could take some of these same dark brush strokes and put them down here. Go ahead and put some over here as well. Okay. Now in a moment, you don't have to be finished with this area, but in a moment, I do want to switch brushes to, I would say one of your rounds. I'm going to use the larger of the round brushes, and we can go ahead and do the shoreline. So again, you don't have to be finished with the ocean. Those lines, if you want to add more lines, you can do so at any time. Didn't even have to be today. Like, this is one of those portions that you can just come back to it and add more lines, or even go over with some white paint if you want to bring out some lights. I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but I'll give you guys another few seconds to finish up what you're doing. In the meantime, I'm going to make sure my my larger of the rounds is clean. Set my flat aside here. Here we go. Now I am going to make some more of my ocean color, and I'm going to make some more of my lighter ocean color. So more water, a little less of the brown. Got to balance that out. So add a tiny bit of brown, but not a whole lot. I guess that's okay. Looks pretty diluted, so yeah, I think that's okay. We'll use a different technique. I love this technique. It's where we'll get to squish our brush down. So we'll point our brush towards the line there. We'll squish it down and then just kind of blend it in up here. Same thing with this one. Squish it down, blend it in up there. So I'll take my color and let me move my light so y'all can see it. Okay. So I can see my line right here, and I can squish my brush down. I'm pointing it towards my line, squishing it down. I'm just going to go over whatever is there. Okay. Follow along that line. Hi, Cora. My kitty cat Cora's come to say hi. All right. Now, if you feel like you want to blend that in a little bit more, you certainly can. Just know that you don't have to. It's definitely very bold, but you can certainly blend it in by doing the same thing with just water. In fact, I'm going to do the opposite. I want this to be more bold personally. I want it to be darker, so I'm adding more color on top of that. Not saying you have to, but that's what I want. Point it towards the line and swipe. Now I'm going to do that for my other lines as well. As you can see, this one right here, this line here, I don't think I intentionally tried to make that one lighter. I just was in the zone. That's all. There's no real reason for it, okay? But that is the technique that I use for all of these areas. I pointed my brush towards the line and started to swipe, swipe, swipe just to blend it a little bit. Same thing with this one where I crisscrossed over here and then also crisscrossed this one as well. So I'll take more of my color and let's go ahead and point that in there, blend that in. I can see that it's pretty thin up here. Do the same thing with this line. And cat hair everywhere. Now I'm on the really fun lines over here, the small ones. And then I've got this one that crisscrosses this direction. I kind of want to blend that in. There we go. Now I feel like I want these transitions to be a bit more smooth. I don't want like quite the line there. So here's what it looks like when you go over it just with water. Flatten it out the same way. And that's how I'm smoothing it out. Same thing with right here. Smoothing it out with the water. Smoothing out those lines. There we go. Now I have this area to try to clean up, and I'm sure you guys do too. As you can see, it's very dark. So what I did was I took some of those darker lines and I started to blend them in with everything. It's a very uneven process, but that's okay. Take some more color. Feel like I'm needing more. There we go. Clean this up. So maybe I'll start over here. Flattening out the brush just a bit. Just kind of swiping along the shoreline. I am flattening my brush also up here too. That's how I'm trying to blend that in with this area. I'm just sort of swiping. There we go. I like that. Now, while we wait for this to dry, we're going to jump over here and add a little bit of that yellow to the ocean. That's going to be the sun reflecting off of the water. So I want to say, what did I do? I think I started off with just the yellow, and then I added just a little bit of the light orange. And then just it naturally started to mix a little bit with the blue to make a green. So this kind of green. So just let that happen. When that happens, just let it happen. It is water. So it's just, it makes sense to be green. So you are welcome to, again, switch back to whatever method you're more comfortable with, whatever brush you're more comfortable with. So for me, that was the flat one. And I want to start light, again, very light. So I'm just going to take a little bit, just a little of the yellow first. And then I think I started out here and then just made my way towards the sun. I still left that white paint in, or I'm sorry, I left the white spaces visible though. So I didn't put the yellow over everything. So I'll start down here just because it's a little easier. Swiping in. And I'm letting those greens just happen. It's really lovely when it blends naturally. But if you feel like it's blending a little too much, you can always just rinse your brush and just go right back to the yellow. A little bit of yellow. That right on top. Feel like it's getting muddy again, so I need more yellow. Now you will want some of this green to just kind of blend in with the surrounding water. So I would just kind of take some of it and just have it go into the ocean on the sides here. Just so that it doesn't look out of place. Oops. Now I'm actually going to mix a little bit of the light orange with the yellow and do the same thing. Just going to add a touch of that. So I'll use the same brush. I don't need a lot at all. As you can see, this little pile right here, this is what I initially used. So I just need to grab a little bit of the yellow. Ooh, somebody said it's Mother's Day card. Okay. Ooh. Let's see. So I've got the yellow. And then I'll just take a tiny little bit. Again, did not need a lot. Now I'm going to add what I do have. Add it the same way. There we go. Now, if you want, while we're on the subject of using that yellow and orange mixture, if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of that same color to your shore. It's very light. Make a little bit more of that color and add even more water to it. So I guess I'll show y'all how to do that one. There we go. I'll just leave that there. Okay. Grab some of that. Make a little bit more and then add some light orange to that mixture. And then dilute it even more. I'm gonna add more water to that. And then we'll take this color and we'll add it to the shoreline. I'm not going to go over everything, but it's a very thin layer. See that? Very thin. Add that over top of everything. Just until you get to the ocean. Right about here. This is called a wash. I mean, I know we're using watercolors, so makes sense to call it a wash, but even when you're doing acrylic paints or oil paints, if you put a thin, transparent layer of paint over top of whatever you have already there, that's what's called a wash. So, a little art terminology for you, in case you didn't know. Now, that was the last of it. Does anybody want to share? This is
Our
the
favorite part of the show.
Alexa, you and I, same wavelength again.
I know. We're on it tonight. We're on it tonight.
I know. Yeah, I would definitely, if you do want to share it, just kind of fan it a little bit if you have some puddles there, especially if you just put the sand in there.
Yes,
otherwise,
so
you
Hannah,
should be
you need
good.
to tell some jokes. We need to
Oh,
let people
God.
dry because we don't need to let drips ruin their stuff. We need to tell some jokes real quick.
That's the Mother's Day card that I made.
Yes.
I put it in the
Alexa,
Here, this
let
is
me
what I
see
can
it.
do because you sent it to me. Let me download it so I can screenshot it. I can share my screen. That's what we can do as a brief intermission while their things are drying. Thank
There
you,
we
Jett.
go.
I am pulling it up right now.
You know, my favorite jokes are dad jokes, but I don't have any memorized. I need to have a little dad joke book right next to me. Oh, there it is. How cute.
I know. They were in a
Yeah.
pool. This way I could take them out the pool and put them in a protection.
It is
I
just
love that
so
texture.
cute.
Very
I
cool.
love the contrast. It's really cute.
Thank
Like
you.
that.
And he looks so happy.
I
Yeah.
know.
He's a little cutie.
Oh, they're
Very
so cute.
cute.
I love it. Yay. Oh,
I-
Laurel, I see you holding your
Oh, we
picture
have
up.
Laurel.
Woohoo.
Yes.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Ooh.
Beautiful texture. I
Thanks.
feel like I'm looking at an impressionist
Wonderful.
painting.
Very
Well, I
much
put-
so.
All about purple, so I kind of did some more purple.
That's
And then-
beautiful.
Right.
I think I need to work on this. This looks a little weird.
What, the bottom, the sand?
Well, yeah, these lines, they just look too
Huh.
You want to hold yours up?
fair, I think.
I
Okay.
think they look good. Because
Thanks.
on the picture, they're definitely bold lines. So
Okay.
yeah, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. I love that. I feel like
it's great.
I feel like I'm looking at like a Monet painting. It's beautiful.
It looks like
Yeah,
it belongs
that's
in a
your-
museum.
Happiness that you did. I was trying to get that. I like that look.
Oh.
The sun looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
sun is
To do anything inside there?
no, it's just white.
Oh,
It just stays
yeah.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great. Thank
Bye,
you.
beautiful.
Thanks.
All right, Jim, I'm coming to you.
Woohoo.
Oh,
There you are, Jim.
Ooh.
There's those yawns. There, is that crayon?
it's just drawing pencils.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Look at the way you did that texture,
Not-
though.
I know, like the sky especially. That's beautiful.
Wow.
The sun, that is gorgeous.
The way you
And I'm loving the
translated
mountains.
this.
Yeah, it is a translation. It is.
Great
How cool,
job.
Jim.
So Susan's gonna show hers now.
Hold it up, because I'm not close enough.
I'll hold Susan.
Oh my
There we
goodness, look at that
go.
color.
Sorry.
Oh my
Is that
goodness.
marker?
It's a combination of color crayons and colored pencils and markers.
Oh,
Ah,
mixed
okay.
media. Nice.
There we go.
It's
I
like
love
Van
that.
Gogh-ish.
It
It
is.
There you
Is.
go.
A Van Gogh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Van
Yeah.
Gogh, how nice.
These are very impressionistic works.
I
I
know,
love it.
man. These people are outdoing themselves tonight.
Uh-huh.
Knocking out the park already. We're already 2 people in. How many
I'm proud
painters
of
are
you
we gonna
guys.
have tonight?
I know. I'm proud of you guys for translating that into another medium.
Very
That's
much
great to
so.
see.
Great job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Marcy, I see
you.
Marcy up there.
All right, Marcy, I'm coming to
It's
you.
a nice deep.
Oh,
sea.
there we
Oh,
go.
it's beautiful.
Oh, did you add purple to yours? It almost looks purpley.
You know, the blue kind of, I'm not happy with the shoreline, not at all.
Really?
So I tried
Really?
to fix it, and
I
for
love
somehow
the shoreline.
I
think
love
that's
that though.
Backlighting of the mountain.
Yeah, there's something about the way the colors are blended in. That's what I really love about it.
Yeah,
I love
It's
your,
that yellow glow is everywhere.
yeah, me too. Yeah,
tried
I
to-
think you did a great job.
I'm not really happy with the shoreline. I'm gonna work on it still. Thank you.
So
Okay, okay.
warm and nice. Oh, just taking me to a nice place, everybody.
Yes, it feels warm,
Oh,
Marcy.
it
It
just
feels like a warm painting.
warm. Oh, I love
Mhm.
it. Not like Texas hot, Hannah, just warm. You know,
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice, like,
it's nice.
slightly
warm.
drier. Slightly
Yes.
drier.
We had a whole conversation about this before you came on. Like, yeah. Thank you,
a lot.
Marcy. We're coming to you,
You're welcome.
Sharon.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
There's so many greens there.
Yes, is that
Yeah.
is that green? Are we seeing this correctly?
It's green and blue.
It's green and blue.
Nice.
I'm
The
loving
sun
the
looks so bright.
sky. It does.
Gosh.
It does.
That's
It
crazy.
definitely looks like a classic watercolor painting. Like the splotches, like it just
Yeah.
looks
Yes.
beautiful with the way the paint is applied on the sky, but also in the water too. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
and the
Hey.
mountain.
Yeah, uh-huh.
The green was such a bold choice. I love it.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, Hannah, like we're gonna run out of artists to compare people to. We need a list.
I know. You guys are getting so
Alright.
good.
Thank you. Okay, we're coming.
Ooh, there you
Oh,
are, Tara.
we have birds, everybody.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the birdies.
We got birds.
I had an accident, and so I made a submarine and some birds.
Ah,
Oh,
cool.
that's hilarious.
Love it. Hey.
This is
I
my
love
favorite
it.
No
watercolors.
accidents.
It's fine.
Beautiful.
You meant to do that. It looks
Yeah.
great.
Yes, it was a
Happy
happy
Yeah,
accident.
that's your first watercolor? I don't believe
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
whale.
this is
Oh,
beautiful. It's a
yeah.
whale.
The ship. Oh, yeah.
I think the
Nice.
sky is my favorite though. It's just the fact that you have so many different colors, opposing colors that blend very
Yes.
well.
Very cool.
I love it.
I don't know which one is my favorite. I love them both so much. They
Especially
are
the
both
submarine.
fantastic. The
Thanks.
submarine and the whale.
Yeah.
Great job. Great,
Gosh,
great
that's gorgeous.
job.
I just want to throw it out there. I know we're still like showing our work, but if you could be so kind and to share those, like email me those pictures so that I can show you off on social media, that would be
Yes,
amazing.
we just like to
Yes.
keep the bragging going because that's just
We do.
hilarious people. That's just what we do.
do.
That's,
Terry,
Wow.
how amazing is
oh,
that
I love the
mountain?
mountain. That's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Mountains.
And the sun.
It's my first time with watercolor too.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You guys.
The mountain is so rich.
I know, you guys are so good at this. Like the
love-
sky especially. I love how
Purple in the
Is
sky.
that purple?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
purple, right?
Yep, I use
Beautiful.
purple.
Wow.
I'm loving that texture in the sky.
Oh, wow.
And that mountain, like I feel like I can see so much texture through the haze on the
Mhm.
mountain.
You see, all the.
Yeah.
All of these look so
Beautiful.
real.
I know.
I just kind of
The
want to
water
just hop
looks so
in.
realistic.
I love it. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you. And then
Thank you.
Tony.
Good job, guys. There you are,
Ooh,
Tony.
look at that
I
blue.
love that.
Oh, beautiful.
I know the shoreline is beautiful too.
And the sun on the water.
Uh-huh.
The water looks like it's truly shimmering. Yeah.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Uh-huh. I love that your sun is a perfect circle. It looks like it's a
It just-
perfect circle. I'm a
I
little jealous.
used a sticker.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good one.
That's beautiful. As always. As always.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm stating the obvious. I do have to say there has been a UFO sighting. So we know who's coming up.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
What in the world? I
Call the
love
Men in
that.
Black, everyone.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. I love the
kinda messed-
UFO.
I had to paint the sun white because some of the yellow and was leaking into it.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's okay.
Yeah,
But
It still looks really good.
That's dramatic. That's gorgeous.
it is.
Well,
It reminds me of a painter.
Yeah.
There's this a thing in Houston right now. When Brian and I were there last week, I was going to take a picture. There's this artist that they're deconstructing, and I'm like, this is that artist. And I wish I knew which artist it was.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yes, I'm like, I wish I could go, oh, it is this artist. That's who it is. If I had taken a picture, I would have remembered.
Yeah, I know the
Yes.
feeling too.
Yes, it is cog fog, MS brain, chemo brain. That's just
Mhm.
that's the life we all live. Yes, I love
JP,
it though.
yes, I think your alien is just amazing. Your spaceship, I
Love the
love it.
extras.
well, thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We
I
love
love
the
every-
extras.
Thanks everybody. Had a
Thank
great time.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good memorial, a safe memorial.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yes.
I think that's next
absolutely.
weekend, right?
The
Yes.
weekend after that.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Oh
I
yes,
don't
the
know.
weekend after.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
I
you,
lose
Hannah.
track of time. I'm old.
Don't we all though? Thank
No.
you. Oh wow.
Ooh,
My baby.
Ooh.
Nice.
that's really nice.
Oh, I love that it looks like there's clouds. Like there's a hazy level of clouds at the top.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, as Callie joined the
Man.
critique as well.
Yes, she's come to encourage us.
Oh yes.
She's trying to find the clouds in the sky.
Yes.
But what really stands out to me though with this painting is the colors. Because I love how bright the ocean is. It looks almost like crystal water, like the kind you would see
Yes.
like in the Caribbean or something. Not that I've
Oh
been there.
yes.
But then contrasted with like the darkness of the mountain. It's just like the contrast that I love.
Thank you.
But then the purple light above the mountains because of the
Well, the misty look on the mountains looks cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
mist.
And I
Oh,
love
it's
that
so
there's
beautiful.
a subtle amount of orange right above the mountain. It's such a nice gradient.
Mhm.
that is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous,
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank
Beautiful.
you, Jamie.
All right. I'm looking to see if anyone
Beautiful.
else wants to share.
I
I
will
would-
share.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah, there we go, Mary
Ooh.
Ann. I know, again with the colors. Those are beautiful.
Those are
Like
nice.
it's very crystal, like a
Yes.
crystal ocean.
tropical.
And then yeah, that's the word. It's very tropical. Like it looks like something I would see like in like one of the is it the gallery, like a gallery that's like right by the ocean that caters to like
Oh,
the tropical
yes.
scenery.
Mhm.
That's what I feel like I'm looking at.
Well, thank you. This was a
And
great
the
class.
mountain color with that little bit
Mhm.
of purple. I think is it a red that's the main, or is it more of a pink that's the mountain?
It was supposed to be that mixture of purple, and then it turned more I don't know. Actually, it was the purple mixture that we
Yeah,
made.
Sometimes
it looks like
in our
it.
cameras, it can look a little bit different, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But
looks
it's
like it's a little
beautiful.
bit less brown than I have.
Yes, she's so cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes, I love it. Jeanette,
Beautiful.
I'm coming.
Oh, no problem.
Ooh, there. Ooh, you're
Oh no,
blurry.
Jeanette's in the witness protection program. Her art's in there.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, I
what-
can't see it.
Here, just put it closer to the camera.
oh,
Here, yes, put it kind of closer. Or yeah, you can also take it kind of further away too. You can try that as well.
Well, if you put it next to your face.
Yeah, put it next to your face as well.
oh, that's okay. Sometimes
So
the camera.
we can at least tell that the colors look beautiful. That they're bold.
Yeah, I saw some purple. Yeah, I saw some
They're
purple
bold.
along with the blue.
Yes.
It just looks like when I have my glasses off.
I just got lost between this part and the other ocean
Okay, so
because
with your hand on it, we can see it. So just yes,
Oh.
yes. So put kind of put your hand on it again. Yes,
Yeah.
there we go.
Much
Oh.
better.
Yes, we can
Neat.
see the texture.
It's that purple for me. I love the purple mixed with the blue.
yeah, and I forget what, when we got to the bigger ocean, I forgot what color I was using, so I had different colors in here.
But I like it. I think that worked out really well for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you did
love-
great.
Great job, everybody. Is there anyone
Ooh.
else I missed? Sharing is always optional if you've never been here before. We never make you do anything you don't want to do. If you want to share, I want to make sure that, oh, I'm coming. I see you. I'm coming. Ooh. Oh my gosh, look at that around the sun.
Ooh, nice.
I
That's
had a
nice.
lot of trouble with the shoreline here at the bottom. I don't know. The more I tried to play with it, the more I blurred it. I don't know if it dries, maybe. If I can get it to be a little sharper.
Oh, I like it. No, I think it's great the way it is. Like the
Yeah.
shoreline at the bottom there. I
At the bottom,
especially
yeah, it
love.
looks kind of greenish because I tried to use a different color to kind of contrast it more, and then it turned out to be green. So
Well,
it doesn't really look like the.
I think it works for you though, because I don't know. I feel like it stands out a lot more, but in a really good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it then.
So yeah, I like it a lot.
No, I like it too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It was, as usual, fun.
All right.
Thanks.
We'd
Thank
like
you,
to hear
Maria.
that. All righty. Did I get everybody? If not, wave your arms, holler.
Karen, how'd you do?
Oh, I couldn't. I'm just making a cameo appearance.
Yes, Karen's
Gotcha.
cameo.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got pink eye. At least it's colorful.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you don't like pink. And you don't want pink eye anyway.
It's
I
not a
hope you
good
get
color
better.
to have.
Yeah, no. Man.
All right, then
Giving
I
this-
will close us out. Hannah, do we have any announcements? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I guess I can
Any
announce
word on
when.
Any word on the t-shirts for art
No.
friends?
It's been on my mind, but I just get so busy.
It's because she hasn't even been at home this month.
Yeah.
That's no
It's like I
excuse.
try
Come
to
on now.
email her and it's
I
like
know,
she's
right?
not even here. She's
I
like,
know,
oh, by the
it's
way, I'm leaving.
constantly
You just got
getting
here.
these out of office messages from me.
You just
But yes,
got
it
home
is
and she's
still
like, I'm
on my
leaving.
mind.
So
Oh,
I'm
what's
looking
up?
forward to having Hannah back but she has to do a world on her North America tour right now. So she's coming to a
Yes.
city near you if you live in the United States. So keep an eye out for her. If you spot her, take a picture with her. Just run up
Yes.
to her and say,
Just-
hello,
yeah.
I'm one of the art friends. She will greatly
don't have-
appreciate that.
She doesn't carry pepper spray, does she?
No,
I'm not telling anybody that.
no, I
I
will
just
say
should I wear
no.
my goggles?
You might need to wear your see, here's the thing.
Yeah,
I think
you
she's a little
might.
sneaky. I think she doesn't like to reveal all of her secrets.
I don't.
Okay.
So I would just be
don't.
prepared for anything.
We
And
will
that's
both
one
be
of her-
surprised.
Okay.
I'd be prepared for anything.
So Wednesday, I know Alexa made an announcement. I wasn't here for most of it. For the Solo Arts Heal on Wednesday at 7:30. I won't be able to see who's in the audience, but if you're there, I'll know.
She will know.
Yep. Yep. I'll
And
be
we
there,
will send
Karen.
you information on the follow-up email. So you don't have to remember right now. We will send that information out.
Yes.
So
I
as
guess
Hannah,
one.
oh, go ahead, Hannah.
Yeah, I was just going to remind everyone to, if you can, please fill out that optional post-class survey. So there were two. There was one before class, and now there's one after class. So if you could please fill that out, that would be amazing. And it even has like a little suggestion area at the bottom and a space for you to input like what types of things you might want to learn. Things like that. So if you could fill that out, that would be amazing.
Oh yes, we need to end with the puppers. Oh yes, excuse me, Hannah. Sorry, we got to end with the puppers. Yes, puppers.
Oh, there they are.
Yes,
babies.
Yes. On that note, I'm just going to close this out because we got puppers. On that note, everybody, what a pleasure having you every single month. We love seeing you, whether recorded or here live. We thank you, puppers, and we thank you for all the joy that you bring us. So good night, everybody.
Good night.